Alright, picture this. You're on the on-ramp, flooring it to merge with highway traffic. You're expecting that burst of speed, but you get nothing. Your car feels sluggish, like it's dragging an anchor. That heart-sinking feeling of losing power when you need it most isn't just frustrating, it's downright dangerous. But here's the good news. More often than not, the culprit isn't some catastrophic engine failure. It's usually a hidden, simple-to-fix component. In this video, we're uncovering the 7 secret reasons your car is losing power, and we'll show you what to do about them. Starting with the easiest fixes first. Reason number 1, the clogged fuel filter. Kicking off our list is a part that's often completely forgotten until it's way too late. The clogged fuel filter. Think of your car's fuel system like plumbing. The fuel tank is the city water supply, the pump is your home's water pressure, and the injectors are the faucets. But before that fuel gets anywhere near your engine, it has to go through a filter. Its job is simple but critical. It catches all the rust, sediment, and other gunk that builds up in a gas tank over time. It's the bodyguard for your much more sensitive and expensive fuel injectors. For a long time, a fuel filter does its job quietly, but just like the lint trap in your dryer, it eventually gets full. It gets so packed with junk that it literally starts strangling the flow of fuel to your engine. Now, if you're just idling at a stoplight or cruising at a low speed, you might not notice a thing. The engine's not asking for much fuel. The problem rears its ugly head when you demand power. When you accelerate to merge, pass, or climb a hill, your engine's demand for fuel skyrockets. A clean filter lets that fuel rush through, but a clogged one creates a bottleneck. The fuel pump starts whining and working overtime, but it just can't shove enough fuel through the blockage. The result? You feel it as sluggish acceleration, hesitation, or a mushy gas pedal. Your car might even jerk or stutter as the engine is briefly starved for fuel. In really bad cases, the engine might stall completely, especially when you put it under load. You might also notice it's harder to start, or the engine idles rougher than usual. The fix is simple. Replacement. Fuel filters are meant to be replaced. Check your owner's manual, but a good rule of thumb is every 30,000 miles or so. Now, on some newer cars, the filter is inside the fuel tank and isn't a simple swap out, but for most vehicles, it's a cheap and easy repair that can instantly bring your car's power back and save you from burning out your much more expensive fuel pump. Reason number 2, the dirty mass airflow sensor. Next up is a small but mighty sensor that causes huge problems when it gets dirty, the mass airflow or MAF sensor. Your engine is like a master chef. It needs a perfect recipe of air and fuel to create power. The MAF sensor is the one in charge of measuring the air located right after your air filter. It has a tiny hot wire or film. As air flows over it, it cools down. The car's computer, the ECU, measures exactly how much electricity it takes to keep that wire hot, and from that, it calculates the exact amount of air entering the engine. It's an incredibly precise system. The problem is its location. Even with a good air filter, microscopic bits of dust, oil, and gunk can get sucked in and get baked onto that delicate sensor. When that happens, it's like putting a winter coat on a thermometer. It can't get an accurate reading anymore. A dirty MAF sensor will usually underreport how much air is coming in. The ECU, thinking there's less air, injects less fuel. This creates a lean condition. You'll feel this as hesitation, stumbling, or a weird jerking when you try to accelerate. Your car might feel fine, then suddenly lose power on a highway on-ramp. You might also get a shaky idle, or the engine might even stall right after it starts. And you can bet your check engine light will be on. The great news? This is one of the easiest fixes on our list. You can buy a special MAF sensor cleaner spray. The sensor is usually held in with just a couple of screws. You carefully take it out, give it a good cleaning with the spray, let it air dry completely, and pop it back in. In 15 minutes, you can often completely restore your car's performance and save yourself from buying a brand new sensor. Reason number 3, the failing oxygen sensor. At number 3, we have the engine's trusty accountant, the oxygen sensor, or O2 sensor. If the MAF sensor measures the in-breath, the O2 sensor measures the out-breath. It sits in your exhaust pipe, and its job is to sniff the exhaust fumes and measure how much unburned oxygen is left after combustion. This tells the ECU how well the air and fuel mixture was burned. Too much oxygen? The engine is running lean, so the computer adds fuel. Almost no oxygen? It's running rich, so the computer cuts back. It's a constant feedback loop that keeps your engine perfectly balanced. But these sensors live a hard life, bathing in super hot corrosive exhaust fumes. Over time, they get caked with carbon and other gunk, and they start to get lazy. They send slow or incorrect signals back to the computer. When an O2 sensor fails, the ECU is basically flying blind. Often a dying sensor will incorrectly tell the computer the engine is running lean. So what does the computer do? It dumps a ton of extra fuel into the cylinders, creating a rich condition. At first, you'll just notice your fuel economy is in the toilet. You're visiting the gas station way more often. As it gets worse, that rich mixture starts choking the engine. You'll feel a sluggish, bogged down sensation when you accelerate. You might also get a rough idle, engine sputtering, or even see a little black smoke from the exhaust. And if you smell rotten eggs, that's a huge red flag. That's the smell of your expensive catalytic converter being cooked to death by all that unburned fuel. Your check engine light will definitely come on. Replacing an O2 sensor is a common job for any mechanic. It's absolutely crucial to get it done because driving with a bad O2 sensor not only kills your power and mileage, it can destroy your catalytic converter, a repair that can cost thousands. Reason number 4, worn-out spark plugs. Our fourth reason isn't a secret sensor, but a part whose importance is massively underestimated: the humble spark plug. Every single ounce of power your gas engine makes starts with one tiny spark. The ignition system sends a high-voltage jolt to the spark plug. It jumps a tiny gap, and that spark ignites the air-fuel mixture. This controlled explosion is what pushes the piston down and turns your wheels. This happens thousands of times a minute with perfect timing, but spark plugs don't last forever. The intense heat and pressure slowly erode the electrodes, making the gap wider and wider. Carbon and oil deposits can also build up, smothering the spark. When a plug is worn, it struggles to create a strong, consistent spark, which leads to a misfire. The fuel in that cylinder doesn't ignite properly. At first, you might just feel a slight hesitation or a stumble when you hit the gas. The car just doesn't feel as crisp as it used to. As the plugs wear down more, the misfires get worse. You'll feel a shaky, rough idle. Your acceleration will be noticeably weak. And since unburned fuel is getting dumped into the exhaust, your gas mileage will tank. If you floor it, you might even see the check engine light start flashing. That's the car screaming at you that there's a severe misfire happening that can cause major damage. People think of spark plugs as a minor tune-up, but worn plugs are a huge cause of power loss. The fix is easy: replace them. Check your owner's manual, but it can be anywhere from every 30,000 to over 100,000 miles for modern plugs. It's one of the most cost-effective ways to restore engine power and make sure your engine runs smoothly. By the way, of that sluggish feeling when you hit the gas, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. We post videos just like this to help you understand your car and save money. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Reason number 5. The failing ignition coil. Coming in at number 5 is the spark plug's boss, the ignition coil. If the spark plug is the lighter, the ignition coil is the hand that flicks it. Its job is to take the 12 volts from your car's battery and amplify it into an insane 25,000 to 45,000 volts. That massive jolt is what's needed to create a spark powerful enough to ignite the fuel mixture. Most modern cars have a dedicated coil for each spark plug sitting right on top. Like any electronic part, coils can fail from engine heat and vibrations. When a coil starts to go bad, it can't produce that super high voltage anymore. The symptoms of a bad coil are like a bad spark plug but on steroids. You'll get a severe engine misfire. With one cylinder doing absolutely nothing, your engine will run rough, shake, and vibrate like crazy, especially at idle. When you accelerate, the power loss will be dramatic. The car will feel incredibly sluggish and will likely jerk and sputter. Because you're dumping raw fuel into the exhaust, you might even hear popping or a loud bang from your tailpipe. That's a backfire, and it can cause serious damage to your exhaust system. Your check engine light will definitely be on, and a mechanic can use a scan tool to see exactly which cylinder is misfiring. They can then confirm it's the coil by swapping it with one from another cylinder to see if the misfire follows the bad coil. The fix is to replace the faulty coil. And a pro tip: if one coil has failed from age, the others are probably not far behind. It's often smart to replace them all at once, along with the spark plugs, for a completely refreshed and reliable ignition system. Reason number 6. The clogged catalytic converter. Our 6th reason is one of the most serious and expensive causes of power loss: a clogged catalytic converter. This part of your exhaust looks like a small muffler. Inside is a ceramic honeycomb coated with precious metals like platinum. Its job is to take the nasty pollutants from your engine and convert them into less harmful gases. It's your car's anti-pollution device. Here's the problem. it can get plugged up. This almost always happens because another problem was ignored. A misfiring spark plug, for example, dumps raw fuel into the hot exhaust. When that fuel hits the catalytic converter, it can literally melt the ceramic honeycomb inside, fusing it into a solid blocked mass. A clogged cat is like forcing your engine to exhale through a coffee straw. The exhaust gases can't escape, creating massive back pressure that chokes the engine. The power loss is severe and gets worse over time. At first, it's just a general sluggishness, especially at highway speeds. As the clog worsens, you can have the gas pedal on the floor and the engine will just refuse to gain RPMs. It feels like you're towing a boat. You might smell that rotten egg odor, and in extreme cases, the converter can get so hot from the back pressure that it literally glows red. That is an emergency and a massive fire hazard. Unfortunately, you can't clean a melted converter. The only fix is a full replacement, and it is not cheap, thanks to the precious metals inside. This is why it's so critical to fix root causes like a misfire immediately. Fixing a $50 spark plug today can save you from a $1,500 repair bill tomorrow. Reason number 7, the failing throttle position sensor, TPS. Finally, at number 7 is the sensor that acts as the direct line of communication between your foot and the engine, the throttle position sensor, or TPS. When you press the gas pedal, you're opening a valve called the throttle body to let more air in. The TPS is bolted to the side of it, and its only job is to tell the engine's computer exactly how far open that valve is. Based on that signal, the computer decides how much fuel to add. It's the translator for your right foot. Being used constantly, the TPS can just wear out. The internal electronics can get dead spots. When this happens, the computer gets bizarre and conflicting information. The symptoms are often weird and unpredictable. You might press the gas, and for a split second, nothing happens. A total dead spot. Then boom! The car suddenly lurches forward as the sensor finds a good signal again. This jerky, unpredictable acceleration is unsettling and dangerous. Other signs include an unstable idle where the RPMs wander up and down on their own, or the engine might stall when you come to a stop. It can even cause strange and harsh shifting in automatic transmissions. You'll get a check engine light, and your fuel economy will suffer as the computer desperately tries to make sense of the bad data. A mechanic can diagnose this by watching the sensor's voltage on a scan tool. It should be a smooth, steady climb as the pedal is pressed. Any jumps or drops mean the sensor is toast. The fix is a simple replacement, and it can completely transform your car's drivability, making it smooth and predictable again. So there you have it. 7 hidden culprits that could be stealing your car's power. As you can see, the problem often starts with the small, inexpensive parts that are easy to forget about. A loss of power is never something to ignore. If your car feels sluggish or just doesn't have the get up and go it used to, don't panic and assume the worst. Start with the simple stuff. Check your records. When were the fuel filter or spark plugs last changed? A dirty MAF sensor can be cleaned for the price of a spray can. These small filters and sensors are the eyes and ears of your engine. When they can't do their jobs, the whole system suffers. Paying attention to them will restore your car's performance, boost your fuel economy, and prevent a tiny issue from becoming a massive wallet-draining repair. We hope this video gives you the confidence to either check these things yourself or at least have a much smarter conversation with your mechanic. If you found this guide helpful, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. And for more deep dives into how your car works, make sure you're subscribed. Now we want to hear from you. Leave a comment below if you've ever had a sudden loss of power and what the fix turned out to be. Your story could be the exact answer someone else is looking for. Thanks for watching, and drive safe.